might be hard to stay strong, but I urge you to hang in there. We can bend, but we won't break. Don't be afraid. Hold on, baby. Will you hang in there?
So I am Miss Cooper, and I know it's been a while since I've been around, but I just want to say, what's up, everybody? I am back for an all-new season of my show. So I'm going to get right into this, and I got a special guest host with me. You've heard of him from a couple of my shows in the past before, and we've worked together on several other projects as well. But ladies, here he is, the infamous Lucas Cool. How are you doing this evening?
Everything is everything. First of all, Ms. Cooper, I just want to thank you for having me back. Shout out to everybody who's listening to the program, who took the time out to just check in and see what you got cooking. So I'm glad to be back. It's always a blessing when I can come through and put my 2 cents in. So, thank you for that.
My ratings on my show are always higher whenever you are in the mix. I mean, I guess the ladies out here have that voice crush like I've had on you since day one. So, if it boosts ratings, I'm going to have you on the show as often as I can, just to let you know.
Well, the more sponsors we get for the show, they can sponsor me to, do commercials and, whatever else that your particular show needs. So anybody listening that wants to put some money in to hanging with Miss Cooper, you want to get some slot time going, I am also available depending on the product. We can negotiate financial terms.
See, look at how he's looking out for me already. He didn't even sugarcoat it or anything. He was just like, hey, we going to get down to business.
I'm awesome.
Yeah, I see.
What are you going to do with the money? Nah, let me stop playing.
Okay. I got you, Lucas Cool. But see, since it's been a while since you've been on the show and since I've been on my own show, that's that. I hadn't even been on my own show in a while. How have you been? I mean, how's life treating you?
Life is good. Glory to God in all things. I thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because He keeps me out of trouble. He brings a lot of prosperity my way. When things look kind of funny or things get uncomfortable, I can always depend on Him to bring some clarity and, alleviate what's going on. I mean, I've been making some moves, changing networks. I also struck a new deal, so my new show will be made.
All right. So, Lucas Cool, how have you been? How's life been treating you?
Everything is great. God is good, and I just want to thank my Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ. He is amazing. He's opened up a lot of doors for me that were closed to me at one point. The progress I'm making is awesome. I'm going to have I struck a new deal, so I will also have a show coming with the network. So everybody who's a fan, check it out. You'll be able to go and hear me on a weekly basis. And I'm going to be bringing something a little different to the radio. If anybody heard any of the shows that I did for the Honest Words Network, I'm going to kind of pick up where I left off, but I'm going to kick it up a notch. I'm really going to let loose. It'll be a much longer show, too, than the one that I used to do for the Honest Words Network. But yeah, things are great business-wise. For the sponsors that are out there listening that may be interested in the Lucas Cool brand, I mean, you're more than welcome to always get in contact with me. You can check my Facebook page. You can email me. There's a number of ways to get in contact with me for certain business arrangements and deals that could be made. Aside from that, my brother had a boy a couple of months ago, so I have a new nephew, so I'm even busier with the nieces and the nephews and the odd kids and doing ministry work and just trying to grow in the things of God. So I'm kicking butt in the gym too, because that's
Well, as good as your voice sounds, yeah, you got to keep the body right. You got to keep it tight. That's how us ladies have to do it,
Yeah, it's not fair for dudes to, look like chew bubble gum, and ladies are out here watching what they eat. They're in the gym getting right. And for the ladies who are doing it, naturally, if you're taking a little supplements or whatever, but you're in the gym, you're watching what you eat, you're drinking lots and lots of water every day, shout out to you, because it's the discipline, I got to be honest with you, that's sexy. The whole, seeing a woman, for me anyway, it isn't about a woman being a size 0 or size 2. For me personally, my frame is pretty large to scale. I got a good amount of height to me. I'm not a small man, pretty muscular. So I'm not necessarily into a completely petite woman, but there's something about a woman that works out, a woman that lifts. Ladies, lift. It's strong, lift. It's just something about being a little more solid. You don't have to be China from back in the day, like in the WWF, and you don't necessarily have to be a female bodybuilder, but lifting it just makes a woman stronger. It requires more discipline. You can eat certain things that you can't eat now just doing cardio if you were to lift some weight. And it's just the discipline. The discipline is what's sexy. If you see a woman, you can ask most guys, especially guys who are in the gym, if you got a 6 or 4 pack or whatever, it's hot, but there's the discipline to get that, especially if you weren't always in that shape. Nothing like transformation spells discipline. It shows that you have a goal and you're a goal getter. That you can set your mind to something and you can go after it and be tenacious. And ladies, that's probably one of the sexier things you can do. I mean, of course, certain clothes and certain makeup, good personal hygiene is always a plus, but being intelligent and having great conversation, but on top of that, just discipline and knowing what you want and not settling. If you say, hey, I want to get in this particular shape, then go ahead and do it. Don't do it for me. Do it because that's what you want to look like. I'll enjoy it a lot more if you do it because that's what you want. Because you'll rock it better. It's like a new dress. Don't buy the dress for me. Buy it because you think you look hot in it. If you walk around thinking you look hot in it, and knowing you look hot in it, I guarantee I'll be like, wow, you look hot in that dress. Then the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. See, that's things that ladies like to hear. Giving all these ladies info on how to get their man, huh?
I do what I can do when I can do it. That's,
Well, since you're in that frame of mind where you do what you do, right?
Absolutely. I'm going to cut down on the fraud, real talk. It's a lot of people out here frauding. Guys are frauding too, but women, they have so many things that they wear, and they got these shapers, and instead of just watching what you eat and going to the gym, they wear shapers, and that's frauding because, God forbid, you come out that shaper, now you don't look like that. So if I met you wearing a shaper and now you don't have the shaper because you're comfortable, it's not that you're not in that shape. You were frauding. Or, that the big thing now is the huge booty. Everybody wants a chick with a huge booty in it. And that's not everybody's lane. A lot of people, but that's not everybody's lane. So you have women who God never intended for them to have a huge booty. And they go get these shots, the injections and blah, blah, blah. And you tearing apart your health. That's fraud. Like, just be happy with your particular frame. If you have a petite frame and you weren't meant to have a big booty, then, build on your frame naturally how you can do. Some people don't have that. Some women have the whole big boob thing, and now they want to have big booty too. Just, it might not be your lane. People need to be in their lane and be happy with what God gave them. Rock what God gave you heavy. You rock it and do what's yours, it'll be sexier. Because, I don't want to be somewhere getting to know a woman and thinking, oh, this is great, I'm the luckiest man in the world. And then you start taking off your leg like that girl, and I'm going to get you sucker, and then take off your wig, and you small-headed. I just want to cut down on the fraud. Let us know, ladies, what we dealing with. You'd be surprised how some men are just be like, that's cool. So you don't have this, okay? So you don't have that, okay? Your aesthetic is dope. Don't get it twisted. I'm not so deep to be like, oh, I want the ladies. Oh, he's so deep. He don't even look at how I look. That's not true. I'm not even gonna say like I'm so deep and it helps if you're aesthetically attractive, but if you have no brain, if you have boring conversation, if you're shallow and you're completely self-absorbed, you can keep your beach body. You can keep your T25 body. Like, I'm good.
You getting some of these ladies, like, really? Really? I'm not doing all that. I'm just keeping it real with you. A lot of them are not going to do all that. They're like, he ain't seeing me without my wig. He's not seeing this. I mean, you know what? He's giving me some future inspiration for a show. I'm just letting you know right up front.
That's see if I can slide in some executive production credit or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
I mean, for real, that's future inspiration right there. Well, look, it's cool. We're going to dive right into this show. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you, when you hear this topic that we and him are about to discuss, you're going to be like, yeah, I can relate to that. Because you guys know that my segment, well, not my segment, the theme of my show is you weren't expecting that. Normally I say that, at the beginning of the show, but I decided to, first show back, kind of ease into it. But we're going to just ease right on into it right now. You weren't expecting that. Relationships and social media. And social media, Lucas Cool, I mean, social media has basically taken over, wouldn't you say?
Social media is ridiculous. And when it comes to relationships, I hear so much about people going, oh, things were great in my relationship, me and my girl, or me and my man, until we put it on Twitter, till we put it on Facebook, till we put it on IG, till we put it on, you fill in the blank social media site here.
Mhm. Pretty much, unless you're already married. Yeah. Social media has become a war zone for relationships. Um, I personally, like on my personal Facebook page, I am a part of several Facebook groups. I'm not going to list the names of these groups because, one of them I'm very active in, and I'm not going to give away the privacy of this group either. But
Anonymity is the key.
no, say that one more time.
I said anonymity is the key.
Yeah, because I mean, what we talk about in this group, we keep it 100. We keep it real. And this is like an outlet for these ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not going to, betray their trust. I will say, though, is a lot of the questions that I asked them for show inspiration, because I did get their permission for, show inspiration stuff. I asked a question a couple of days ago asking in relation to our topic about relationships and social media. I asked them, do they have their significant other on their friends list? And 99% of them who answered said no. I was shocked. I was like, what? Really? Why? How can you say that, there's nothing wrong in your relationship if you don't have that person on your list? That was shocking to me. So, before I give my take on it, just off of what you just heard from that Lucas Cool, what do you think about that?
All I hear in my head is that old TLC song, and so I creep. That's all I hear. Because people, creeping is an art, and it's become part of everyday relationships, unfortunately. Not all, because I don't deal in that kind of thing, and I don't deal with a woman that deals with that kind of thing either. But some people in so many different walks of life, from people you go to school with, from people you work with, people on the internet, social media, so that's one area of why I believe people don't have their significant other on their social media site. The second thing that I've heard, I don't know if I believe it 100%, is people say that drama ensues. Now, this can come from a number of different ways. Let's say that you have done what you're supposed to do and you upgraded. You have somebody who's better looking than you, who has more money than you do, who has more education, who has a more bubblier personality than you. You have something that complements you, male or female. Whoever you are with, they are your upgrade. Not to say that you are a downgrade, but you upgrade, because everybody should be upgrading in a relationship. If you want to be in a relationship with somebody, they should, and I hate to quote Beyonce because I'm not a fan, but that song, she said, let me upgrade you. That's the way it's supposed to be. You should not be taking a step back to be in a relationship with somebody. With that being said, you got your upgrade. Everyone who knows you, who can personally or who can see you through social media, that wide-eyed social media lens, can see your upgrade. The drama can ensue from people seeing your upgrade and actually being jealous, whether they settled and didn't have the discipline to wait for their upgrade, whether they're envious, because envy is the nasty, bitter sister of jealousy. Jealousy says, and this is what I want people to understand, jealousy and envy are two different things. Jealousy is, I don't want you to have it because I want it. And I don't want you to have it because I couldn't get it. Envy goes, I don't want it. I just don't want you to have it. Mm-hmm. Two different types of drama, but drama nonetheless. And you have an upgrade. One of those two could be the following drama. Drama can also happen when people see you or you disappear. If you disappear and get low with this, upgrade of yours and people don't hear from you, people make up stories because they're bored in their own lives. Oh, well, I don't see so-and-so. They ain't never on the book no more. This one don't never post nothing on Twitter no more. She got a man now and yada, yada, yada. And then that's when rumors start. Now, rumors, if everybody were to mind their own business and not feed into rumors, rumors just die. But because people say something, out of whether it's jealousy or envy or boredom, whatever reason, their own insecurity, they spread a rumor. The way it starts to continue to spread, and other people go, oh, that might be true, or oh, that's juicy, or oh, girl, and blah, 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 or man, did you hear about so-and-so? Bruh. Just all of that craziness. I'm not a fan. I try to step back whenever possible. No, for real, like, me, I don't like that, If you got a relationship and it's good for you, it isn't detrimental to you or anyone else, then you know what, good for you. I'm not hating on you. I'm gonna celebrate you and your thing, because I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get mine. I ain't got time to hate on yours.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, though. The way that, the men and women in these groups talk, they sound like, they have a pretty good thing. If you have a pretty good thing, why are you hiding it? Why are you not having access to your significant other that way? And I asked these questions to this group because I immediately put it out there. I was like, look, I'm not no therapist or anything, but to me, it's like you have something to hide. If you can't give them access to social media through your eyes or through their eyes, what are you hiding? And their retaliation to my question was, some of them have trust issues. Some of them say that their friends try to get at their man, or their man tries to get at their friends. One person even put that her boyfriend camped out on her Facebook page and was looking at her friends' pics and pictures and stuff. Yeah, it was real for these ladies. They were putting it out there, and I'm like, wow.
Thirst is really real. Right?
It has to be for the type of things that they were saying as to why, they didn't allow their significant other to be on their page. And I'm thinking, okay, first of all, if I can't have you on my friends list, why do you have the title as my man, or as in a woman's case, in a man's case, my girl? Why? Second of all, if you ain't got trust, you don't have anything. If you can't trust them, because I'm sorry, I don't take social media and run with it like 90% of the world does. I just don't. So what other people have to say or think about me on social media, I really don't care. But to me, it's not that big of a deal. If you're on social media, who cares what this person, if they're looking at this or that or whatever? Because to me, isn't social media just like a big popularity contest? People just want to be seen. You're socializing. I know it's the thing nowadays, but still, if you can't share that with your significant other, how can you share a house with them? How can you share money, a life?
I can dig it. I agree 100%. I don't think that anyone, if you're dating someone, if you claim to be someone's significant other, if I claim to be some woman's boyfriend, then I think that we should be able to open up our lives to one another in every sense of the word. But then also, lots of people don't date with a purpose. And I'm all about dating with a purpose. I don't date to date. I don't want to do. George Clooney got married. You understand? Some people want to be players forever and playettes forever. They think they bossing by just dating every couple of months and ditching somebody. The whole goal of dating is to find the one that you're going to marry and be with until you die. That, to me, that was what was instilled. So it's counterculture. Certain people don't want to get married, and at one point, and that also depends on what you've been through. And I've been through that whole, I've been hurt, don't want to love, I don't want to get married, but love didn't hurt you, so you can't blame love. If, hypothetically speaking, if you and me were together, I would have to open up my life to you in order for you to see, hey, this is who Lucas Cool is. I need to know if I like what Lucas Cool is about. Either his friends, either his likes, his dislikes, either his habits. You can't honestly expect a man or a woman to truly want to be with somebody for the rest of their life being put at a distance. And I think that if you don't give your significant other access to all areas of your life, that's what you're doing. You're saying, I like you. You're not truly engaging love, because you can't truly say, I'm your significant other and love me from a distance. You can only love people from a distance who are cancerous to what it is that you're doing and your progress. People who you grew up with, your family, you love them, but they're not where you are. They're not on the level where you are. If you're climbing, they're on the decline, and they're not trying to elevate. If you get too close, they'll pull you down. So that's love from a distance. You can't love your boyfriend or your girlfriend from a distance.
Mm-mm. And see, I like what you said when you were talking about, dating with a purpose. Because I see so many people out here saying, oh, yeah, that's my hubby or that's my wifey. They'll have a baby with them. They'll get a house together. But, when they say, talking about putting a ring on it, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Or in this case, what we're talking about with social media, we're not ready to be Facebook friends. We can't put all that on there. Like, wow. And see, it just boggles my mind what people consider sacred now.
Yep, it had all of their genitalia in your mouth, but y'all not ready to be Facebook friends. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Real.
You done seen this person butt booty naked. You done did the nastiest stuff that you could do with this person, but you're not ready for them to be on your Twitter. You're not ready for them to see your Instagram. Really?
I would find that suspicious. Like, I told my viewers and my viewers who've seen a few of the YouTube shows, and I've told my followers that I recently came into a new relationship. Now, if he were to tell me, oh, we can't be friends on a social media site, that would throw up some red flags for me. Because I'd be like, why? Like, you got something to hide? Is there something going on I need to know about as to why we can't be friends on a certain social media site? I mean, there's too many, red flags that go up with that.
You keep it dignified, like, with your reservation, you keep it dignified. You wouldn't be like, so where are your hoes at? That's what I hear a lot. I've heard so many women say that when that discussion comes out about being on the other person's social media site. They say, oh, you want me to see all your hoes, huh? And ladies, I want you to know it's a whole lot of us out here that they're not players. We don't have multiple women and blah blah blah. But I'm gonna keep it funky with you. If he don't want you to see none of his social media, nothing, he might not physically have some girls, but he might have. And I want everybody to take this into account. Even if they don't have hoes, they have a whole other persona. People become somebody different on social media than they do in real life. There's a lot of cats you grew up with, you went to school with, they live in your city, your town, wherever you live. Some of them live around the corner from you. Y'all Facebook friends. And they are a completely different person on the book or on Twitter. Some of them are thugs. Some of them, let the Twitter, let the Facebook tell it they a boss. They stay getting money, this, that, and the third. But when you go around the corner, drive by their house, they don't live in the boss's house. The repo man does not come for a boss's talk. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there are a lot of chicks on social media. I'm a bad chick. I'm this. I'm that. Blah blah blah. But when you see the inside of their house, the only thing bad is how the inside of your house looks. So people have different personas, and I think that might be a factor too why somebody say, "Oh, hey, I dig you, that you're beautiful, blah blah blah. Let's go together," but you can't be on my Facebook because you might have been to tell the world that dude is not the next Rick Ross. You might tell the world one day when you get mad that he's not Drake, that he's not who he's frauding for the world to be, and vice versa. I mean, women highlight they this, they that. You get with the wrong man, and he might pull your card. So that's always something to think about. Why these people won't let each other come into the fold and see their whole lives. You got a bookworm at home and on the internet, dude is Bobby Schmurda. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't understand why lead the double life. There's no sense in leading the double life because, for one, eventually you do get caught. Because a lot of things that I noticed, like with some of these ladies, because again, I'm trying to, pick my words carefully so I don't, like I say, give away like their, privacy or anything.
Right, anonymity.
Yeah.
Anonymity. You have to take the innocent and maybe a couple of the guilty.
Well, some of them even said that they had their significant other deleted off of their friends list or blocked because of thirsty females, thirsty males. And I'm like, wow. So basically, what is the point of doing this or that if you have to do all of this just to say that you're with somebody or not with somebody on social media? But before you answer that question, I'm going to take this back a little bit. So, Lucas Cole, social media is just like, the modern version of what's always happened today, right?
Right.
Well, I want you to we're going to take it back just a little bit, not from our generation, but to like our parents' generation, and depending on how old your parent is, grandparents' generation, when they were like our age. So, what was hot on television back then? And I'm talking the 50s, the 60s, you name like any, pop culture that was going on back then?
I'm about to say, because there wasn't no TV when my grandparents were kids. That was the 30s. They barely had food and water.
Oh, wow.
The way they tell them stories, them depression babies, they ain't have nothing. Like, you know, they ain't have clothes, they ain't have food, they ain't have water. But, you know, through the grace of God, they magically lived like 20 years to get married. And all of a sudden bought houses and stuff. But, walking 12 miles each way in the snow to go to school kind of stories, you know. But, you know, in the 50s, you had, like, I Love Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that Lever kind of stuff.
And you know how, how crazy Lucy was with her marriage to, what was her husband's name?
Ricky.
Yeah, Lucy and Ricky. Now, what was her last name, though?
Ricardo.
Okay, yeah, that's it. The Ricardos. Okay. So that was like the pop culture back then. That crazy black and white show that everybody has heard of and I'm pretty sure has watched from time to time. Now, I bet my viewers are wondering, like, okay, what does I Love Lucy have to do with social media? I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. So I'll tell you guys like a little bit of why I chose this. See, I started watching the old reruns of I Love Lucy. And me, being the type of mind that I have, I know all these strange facts and little things. Like, stuff like that fascinates me. If you give me a person's name or tell me, like, an event that happened, I'll go and I'll look it up. Because, you know, little strange facts and everything like that fascinate me. So I wondered, you know, how long was this show on the air? Because, you know, I've never sat down and watched it from start to finish. I've just, you know, cut episodes here and there, like, over the years. So I got on Google, hit Wikipedia, found out how long the show had been on and everything. And as I read up on the show, like, deeper, I found something that is relatable to our topic. I Love Lucy was actually originally supposed to be Lucille Ball with another mainstream Hollywood celebrity. She insisted on having her husband. She was married to Ricky Ricardo in real life. His name was Desi Arnaz. She insisted on having him on the show as her husband. And some of you, you're going to be like, wow, when I say this. The only reason she insisted on having him as her husband was so she could keep an eye on him. She made sure his band had... Huh?
It always goes back to creeping.
Yeah. She made sure he had a job so he didn't have to travel. He would be at home. He had an orchestra, and he traveled on the road a lot. And Desi Arnaz was a known womanizer. So that
Wow.
She made sure the band was taken care of. They were hired to play, you know, the background music and stuff for the show. I mean, she took care of everything. Created a position just so she could keep her eye on him.
Fellas, I'm going to tell y'all again, if you think getting away with something, you think you getting all this other new coochie behind your girl's back. A woman in the 50s created a whole television show. She created a whole lane, gave her man a job and his homies jobs to keep him from creeping and getting some new booty. That was the 50s. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Just, wow. How many people was in that band? She made sure that the network cut them all a check so she could check her man. Wow.
Exactly.
Some of y'all dudes be complaining when you come in the house and your girl be like, drop your drawers. We smell your thing. Like, she won't feel the weight of your stones when you come in. And that's light work compared to having to work with your woman to make sure that these thirsty chicks ain't giving you no new booty. That's wild.
So
she dedicated to keeping her family, her marriage together. There's a whole lot of women that's like, I'm not going to do all of that. Nope. They be like, see, the new thing is, boy, bye. Like, just
it is. And that's the thing. Nobody puts in any work anymore. Everybody's all about me, me, me. Okay, that's why you are alone. That's why you are bitter. That's why you have insecurities, because it's all about you. It can't be like that. Sorry. If y'all are getting mad about what I have to say, I don't care. I'm telling you, I'm taking you to church right now, as my friends would say, church right now.
Exactly. Keep it 100. See, this is how you keep it 100. You ain't got to tell people you keep it 100. You just tell them what it is.
For real.
It's right for you. But that's the long and the short of it, people.
You weren't expecting that. I mean, how much clearer can I say it?
She had me butter the ladies up and then drop some real on them. It was a whole lot of, that was cold-blooded, but, you know, medicine isn't always supposed to taste good. We live in a world right now where everything has to taste good. Everything has to be sweet to the taste. It has to hit the tongue and make you feel good. I'm pretty sure you can put sugar. You can put penicillin in the pill and put sugar in the pill. I bet you'll work better without the sugar, though. I'm pretty sure if you have some sort of virus or something that requires penicillin or amoxicillin if you're allergic, you really want the cure for your ailment. You don't care if it tastes good. You just want to be cured. A lot of people I'm finding, most people don't want to be cured. They want people to accept the ailment that could be changed in their life. And I'm not talking about real diseases, but debilitating diseases and illnesses. I'm talking about these illnesses of spirit, these illnesses people are suffering from emotionally, things that they could change, things that the Almighty has given them the ability to change with just a changing of their mind. And they say, well, I'm like this. This is me. Well, maybe you're lonely because people don't like that about you. Everybody can't be wrong. There's always at least one or two or three people, no matter if the crowd goes left, that will go right. If everybody goes the other way.
Well, this is cool. I got something that would kind of feed that just a little bit too. This is I actually showed this to you the other day on social media. Actually, my brother showed it to me, and he got tagged in it as well. So, you already know where I'm going with this.
Oh, Lord Jesus, take the wheel, please. Lord Jesus, take the wheel. I don't want to drive no more, Lord Jesus, please.
Do you want to do it, or do you want me to do it?
No, Lord Jesus, take the wheel. I'm going to sleep in the black. Lord, even that, Lord, I can't.
Okay. Feeding off of what he just said, there is a video that is, going around off of Steve Harvey's talk show. And he has a segment on there called Is That Weird? And oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can get this out without cracking up laughing. Oh, but I'm going to try. I'm really going to try. Luke is cool. He'll probably laugh. I don't know. He might not. So it was Steve Harvey along with two psychologists. And they're speaking with a woman who, going about, what we're talking about with relationships and, insecurities and all. And she was speaking about how she had been with her significant other for so many years. I think she said about 7 years. And the first 3 years that they were together, he was cheating. And so, of course, when you have a, serial cheater, it causes paranoia. It causes you to wonder, who is he talking to? Who is he texting? Where is he at? Is he really going to work? I mean, you question his every move. Hey, I've been there. I know. I mean, I understand where she was coming from.
She like the ball where they at though. Like
oh goodness. Well, she came up with her own little fix so that she would not worry about her man whenever he would go out, especially when he would go out with his boys. Ladies, now you may find this weird. Some of you may cheer this on.
Please, ladies, don't get no bright ideas off of this, because this is weird. I'm sorry. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. This is weird.
Ladies, what she would do before her man would go out, she would write her name on his private. And then she would take her phone and take a picture. And then when he would come back in, she would take another picture. Well, she would actually compare it with the picture to make sure that, he didn't forge it or try to, wipe it off or something and have it rewritten. She's been doing this for 4 years.
Ain't nothing. See, this is why Lord Jesus had to take the wheel, because that was like super weird. Even now talking about it days after I saw the video, it's weird. She wrote her name on his wang, y'all, and then took a picture of it. So then when he comes back in the house, ain't no, let me smell it, let me hold your stones and see if they weigh the same amount when you left the house, right now. No, she wants to see if her name still intact. And first of all, she writes it in with a Sharpie. You ain't writing with no magic marker, no Sharpie on my wang. And I don't care who's listening. I don't care who say, "Oh, that's healthy in a relationship." No, that's not. That's probably one of the most unhealthy things you could do in your relationship. I think the other unhealthy thing about it, you know what's in a magic marker? You know what's in a Sharpie?
Oh, wow. Did you research that?
No, you ain't putting that on my wang. You not. You not. Like, here I go eating healthy. I'm eating this brown rice, trying to eat stuff that don't have enriched bleached flour and blah, blah, blah. And you going to go mess that all up writing with a Sharpie on my wang. The fact that this fool let her do it, though, is what really blew my mind, because for 4 years, every time he want to go out, he literally would drop trowel, whip it out. Should be in there putting a little spin on it, putting a little Pablo Picasso on it. If you don't know who Pablo Picasso is, Google it, because I don't have time to go over who he is. But, just writing her name on it. I don't know if she wrote her whole name because she didn't specify. I don't know if she had the room to write her whole name. All I'm saying is she wrote her name so that in the event that he's somewhere and he whip it out, and there's another female there, they'll look at it, and that's the deterrent system to be like, oh, I can't have that. This belongs to Sasha. Oh, I can't have that. That belongs to Tamika. Oh, I can't put this in my mouth. This belongs to Megan. I don't know now. One thirsty female. God forgive me. I ain't never met a hoe that ever saw something like that. And I was like, no, I can't.
If I saw that, and this is just me, I'm gonna laugh at you first. I'll be like, is that a tattoo? And then when they tell me, oh no, my girl just wrote it on there. Wow. And you let her do it. Okay.
You know, you a simp. You let your girl write on your wang with magic marker. You gonna get cancer on your man. All the cancer we have in the society.
Really?
You gonna get cancer on your man. Watch, mate.
You don't get people scared of Sharpies now.
The Sharpies wasn't made.
Don't take it out on Sharpie. They just got pulled into this conversation. They didn't do anything. It was the lady who did the thing with her man's wang who did something. Don't take it out on Sharpie.
I don't care if your wife said it, Joe. You ain't writing on my wang with a Sharpie. It's not going down like that.
So what if your girl tried to do that to you?
That would be the last thing that she say to me, because I don't want to hear nothing else you got to say. If you even, you got to think that through. Know your man. You got to know who your man is. And my girl, me, being with me day in and day out, conversation, going places, just learning how my mind works. She had the muster, and I'm pretty sure she thought about that all night. Because I ain't dating a woman that's just so reckless. She going to fly a candle and go, let me write my name on your wang, cause.
I would do it just to be funny. I really would.
You know, it's one thing to make a joke out of it because we was watching the video, but, like, to be for real.
Next time I see my man, I'm going to have a stamp. That's what I'm going to do.
He let you do it? I'm going to clown him. I'm going to call him. I'm not going to call him by his name. I'm going to call him Simp from now on.
Oh.
Be like, what up, Simp?
Oh, don't do him like that. He would just do it to humor me. He would. Mm-hmm. He would. Just to be funny.
My girl knew, because, no. What if you get serious, then he going to be stuck with that. No.
What a stamp? Come on now. A stamp,
yeah,
most of those stamps wear off. None of them stamps are permanent anymore. Most of them wear off.
I don't want none of that on my wang, no way. If it wasn't there when God created me, it's not going to be there now on the whim. I'm just not, like,
And you know what was so funny, though? Is when the psychologists, when they heard it, you should saw the look in their face. They couldn't even hold it together. And one of them, Steve Harvey, said forgery. There was a guy and a girl psychologist. The girl was just like, you know that they're probably using, if he does have somebody else on the side, they're probably using those non-lubricated condoms.
That's lame.
Thank you. Yeah, she said Vaseline and stuff. I mean, she gave all these different scenarios, just like a woman. See?
She's a foolish woman, because I know plenty of women over the years, a whole lot of women with some awesome handwriting. I mean, you would thought that they went to college for calligraphy. Like, I knew a girl that used to work at McDonald's. She could duplicate any signature you put in front of her. In high school, we used to make her write doctor's notes. Somebody took a pad out the doctor's office. We had doctor's notes. And that was back in high school. So we talk about a grown woman. Yeah, so you talk about a grown woman. I'm just saying, if she really want that thing, she'll be like, okay, whip it out. She'll take a picture, go home and practice. Give her a day or two. Write it in the same color ink, same color magic marker or Sharpie. That girl wrote it in.
Don't forget to dot the I and cross the T.
Straight like that. Great.
Oh my gosh.
if my girl wanted to write on my wang, that'd be the last time she ever get to. The only time she would see it from that point is in her dreams. Cause no, we're done here. Like, no. I don't want to put a chastity belt on, or walk around with his handcuffed to her wrist like she's a secret agent or something protecting government documents. Nah.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, like no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Well, you know what though? We've given three major examples of, just how people are insecure, have no trust issues, have basically relationships basically are like, they're not even a contract anymore. They're almost non-existent if you think of all of these examples. I mean, what are you holding on to if you have to create a job for your man? You have to ride on his wang. You have to block him off social media. What are you holding on to?
You got to camp out on your girl's Facebook page. You got to follow her into the club and wear something that blends into the darkness to see if she's messing with other dudes and who's buying her drinks or who she's going home with. You have to go through all of her pictures on Instagram to see who she's liking pictures for, who she's double tapping. Like, what kind of relationship do you have with your quote unquote your woman? What do you have babies? What foundation do you have?
Well, see, since we've done the three major examples of something bad, I think we ought to leave, our listeners with some advice. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to have a show where it's all bad. I mean...
Yeah, especially because people get their wang written on, like, don't nobody want to go to sleep on that.
Yeah, by the way, y'all, please don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, I know I was joking and saying I was going to stamp my man's stuff. Yeah, don't do that. Because, I mean, I don't know why this guy keeps agreeing to do this over and over and over. But my only explanation is he's figured out a way around it.
Yeah, he got a side chick that does calligraphy. That's what that is. His girl is a handwriting specialist. Like.
Because I'm sorry, you go out that many times a week, either he's not doing anything on the nights that he's going out. Like, seriously, either he's not doing anything when he does go out with his boys, or he's being very slick about it and doing it like when he knows she's at work or somewhere else. I mean, guys are slick too. Us women, we might think we have it down. Sorry. Fellas are just as slick, if not better, at some instances.
She's going to Kathy Bates that man in misery. She's going to tie him up, knock his ankles together with a sledgehammer so he can't leave. She's going to be like, I'll go to work and everything. You never have to leave. That's what's going to be the next level. So, ladies, don't do that. Because also there's some dudes out here that they're not like me. There's some dudes out here that ain't saved. There's some dudes out here with some tempers, and you try writing on their wang, it'll become a domestic violence issue. So don't do that, please.
It really would. Well, my advice to the ladies, if you want your man to act right, first of all, you cannot train a man. As much as you say, oh, I can change him, I can work with him, you need to be better in your selection of who you decide to call your boo, your bae. Oh, yeah, and by the way, bae is actually the Polish word for poop, so stop it. Don't call your significant other that unless you just like calling him poop, okay? Yeah. I looked that up. I had to. I was just like, there has to be a meaning to this word. So, yeah. If you want to call your man poop, that's y'all's business. I personally am not calling my man that. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I just can't. But you need to be better at your selection. If you can't trust him, if you can't basically introduce him to all of you, that means your friends, your family, and I'm talking social media as well, then why are you with him? You need to think about that. And also, when making your selection, you also have to think about yourself, not what can he do for you monetarily, physically. What can he do for you on a spiritual, on an emotional level? Because, frankly, if he can't replace what, can fill you, which basically, I don't want to turn this into, like a religious thing, because I know we have people of all walks of faith who are listening, but don't idolize a person. I will say that. A girl or a boy is not an idol, so don't turn them into one. But most of all, if you're going to love that person, you want to be with that person, you got to trust that person. Because if you don't, what do you have? Like, Lucas, cool, I'm going to ask you a question. I didn't even ask if you do have a significant other. Do you have a significant other, Lucas Cole?
I do, actually.
Okay. With your significant other, of all the points that I just raised, have you done this with your significant other?
I haven't done that F-wordery about shutting her out of my life. No, I've welcomed her to every aspect of my life. I've told my significant other, I've showed her the person that I was before her. I gave her my history. I let her see. I let her go through my Facebook. In the process of us dating, before we even really got together, she went through my Facebook. And the reason I'm telling you guys now, if you really want to see it, to build a strong relationship and a foundation, what she's about, she went through my Facebook. She went through years. She studied me like there was going to be a final exam. In the process of getting to know me and the conversations and, at night or, texts during the day or something like that, she was really finding out about who I was. She would ask me certain things. I'll be honest with you, as honest as I can be. I beat her to the punch. I would tell her about the kind of man or the kind of guy I was. Because you really can't say you a man and you somebody's man until you can man up to who you were. You don't have to be the way you were. If you've changed, continue to walk in that change. Nobody expects you to be a flawless man, because there are no flawless men. God knows you're not flawless. Every so often we fall down. But that doesn't mean that you have to continue to do what you used to. She saw that. She saw that I walked what I taught. She saw enough about that in me. She saw how drastic the change was just by my Facebook. Your Facebook post, track your Facebook post over the last, this is something I want guys and girls to do. You like somebody, you want to date them, get on their social media, get on their Facebook, get on their Twitter. Go over the last 3 or 4 years. Just look through different posts. Give yourself some time to do this at night when they sleep or whatever. Go through there, figure out who they are. Are they somebody different on the internet than they are in real life? Because when you meet somebody, everybody gives you their representative. The representative is the best of who they are. If they're ignorant and loud, the representative is polite and quiet or subtle and sweet. You find out who they are, go on their social media. Then start making decisions about who this person is. Have they changed? Are they in the process of changing? And how drastic is the change? I think one of the things that drew my girlfriend to me is the change. I can go 0 to 100 real quick when it comes to change, because true change don't happen overnight. The initial thought happens overnight. The initial decision to change. Every day is a process. And maybe the first goal is to not curse as much. Maybe a second goal is to not be a womanizer. Maybe a third goal, whatever it is. Little by little, every day, you learn to control your thoughts and what comes out of your mouth. So that you get to that goal, eventually you'll be there. When you meet that woman, and ladies, the same thing goes for you too. How not to try to do what men do, and how to particularly watch what comes out of your mouth and what you think, because what you think you become. If you want to attract the person you want, that you fantasize about, first you have to realize who you are. And is the person you fantasize about really attracted to who you are? You need to change first and make the change. I'm pretty sure the person that God designed for you to have, that person that complements you perfectly, that upgrade, to thank you for it.
Wow. She researched your Facebook page. Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't even like, but to show you how different I am than, maybe 3 years ago. If a woman would tell me, oh, I stalked your Facebook page, I've been researching you to see who you were, I'd have been like, yo, lose my number. I want you to go on the internet to killyourself.com.
Wow. Really? You would have said that?
Yo, I was verbally vicious. I was a different man, I was reckless with some of the things that I used to say.
But wait a minute. My question is, though, were you guys Facebook friends when she researched your page?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Were you guys Facebook friends when she researched your page?
Yes.
Oh, so you guys were already friends before it actually started as a relationship.
Absolutely. I had to give her full access to me, to who I was, because, regardless of the mistakes I've made over the years, I ain't got nothing to hide. I'll tell you about who I was before somebody else. That's maybe part of the reason I don't have a lot of drama. No woman can run up on my girl and say, oh, Lucas did this with me and did that. My girl will go, oh no. She'll cause that woman to run up on her to be confused and look real stupid. Because I don't want anybody running up on my woman and telling her something crazy about me. As a man, as a grown man, if I ain't about that life no more, you should be able to say, hey, there was a period in my life, hey, whether it be a year, 2 years, maybe a month, 2 months, whatever, I did this. I don't do that no more. That part of my life is gone. I'm a changed man. That excite me or whatever, or woman. I'm a changed woman. I used to do this. Because, if somebody really wants to be with you, if you really want someone to love you, you have to give them everything so they can process it. If love is hate, I'm not going to allow you to be surprised by the BS.
Well, you know what? I kind of wish that, I could say that some men were, more upfront, like you were just mentioning. I'm kind of backsliding a little bit on this because it is something negative, but it does need to be addressed because this is one of the main reasons why some significant others are not on their, Facebook or any type of social media list. Women like your significant other who are researching their potential or their actual significant other's friends list, sometimes they don't like what they find. And this leads me actually into something personal that happens with me. I said originally I wasn't going to, say it was my story, but I am going to go ahead and, be open and share with, the viewers and listeners, what has happened to me, and hopefully they can take some awareness about it. This is why I say be very careful in your selection on who you actually decide to get into a relationship with. Recently, I was harassed on social media, not for who I was dating, but who I dated in the past. I have 2 small children, and my ex and I, he's appeared on the show a couple of times, and as the listeners have heard, we get along just fine. So, but the selection of women who he has chosen, they have not always been the best. That's me putting it very nicely. On 2 separate occasions, I have actually been stopped and harassed because these women are threatened by my friendship with my ex. We get along because we have kids. That's the best way that we can get along, is because, we have kids. We have to be in each other's lives, until they're old enough to where, we don't have to be around each other like that anymore. And the type of things I've gotten, death threats from these women, all because he doesn't say anything negative about me. And so, Lucas Cool, that kind of struck a nerve with me when you said that she researched you, because I'm glad that she told you that she was doing this, because in my case, these women didn't tell him that they were researching me. They actually requested me as friends without even telling him. I had to actually go and tell him, hey, this girl who's on your friends list keeps harassing me. Who is she? These girls had introduced themselves as his girlfriend or something. So, yeah, it got pretty bad. I finally got to the point where I had to tell him, hey, don't talk about me. Don't tell them who I am. I mean, I pretty much had to say, keep your name out of your mouth, because something happens, they feel threatened, and they come looking for me. Have you had that happen, Lucas Cole?
No, see, guys are a little different. I haven't had a woman that I was dating. I haven't had any of her ex-men, ex-boyfriend, ex-friends with benefits, stalk me on social media. I've been out with women, whether it be coming from a restaurant or in the mall or something of that nature, and they see their ex and do run up on me as if he was intimidating me. I mean, it was comical to me because she's already gone, number one, dude, so you look mad thirsty. But 2, you don't know who you're running up on. I could be a wild animal. You don't know what I'm going to do. Not because I'm in the presence of this woman, but you don't know what I'm going to do because you ran up on me. And certain guys, the more insecure they are, they'll be disrespectful to see what they can do. They'll see if they can put hands on you. And those that can't throw their hands, well, they'll have they have a jigger on them, or they they got the ratchet on them, so they might try to clap you. You always got to be careful, but a few times I've had that happen, I can't say that I was as cool as my last name. There were some incidents where, well, it just didn't end well for the individual that ran up on me. That's all I'm going to say. For legal purposes, not all parties were in agreement to disagree. How about that? But,
It was a lesson learned, basically, though.
yeah, absolutely. You know, they learned that day, but it's a fine line, I guess, when it comes to stuff like that. I don't have any children, so I'm not connected to a woman who's dating and things of that nature. But even if I had one or two small children or whatever with an ex, and she wanted to date and get on with her life, that's fine, because I've already made it known by my actions that I don't want to be with her. I don't want to marry her. Because if you wanted to, you would have. So if it's to the point now where she's dating and you know, trying to get on with her life and trying to find somebody, a husband, and then by all means, do let her go. And ladies, you aren't off the hook with that either. You have an ex, and you have children, and it just wasn't in the cards for you to marry the father of your children. He wants to date. He can find himself a good woman, a suitable candidate, a good wife material, someone that can be around your children. You don't have to worry about who they are and their intent. Let that man go. Let him find that. The real issue, and I think a lot of people in relationships, kind of start new relationships, don't understand. I hear a lot of crosstalk from different people in different places I go about my baby mama this or my baby father this, and they're this and they're that and they're the third. Oh, they're crazy. Oh, they're always in my business. The fact that you end up having a child with somebody, I just want to clear the record. You're now going to be in that person's life for the rest of their life. That don't mean y'all have to have anything sexual ever again. You dig? Like, I don't have to. You really do not have to go that route. What it does mean is that you are co-parents to one or two or however many children that you have. You have to be civil. You have to learn to come on one accord to parent this child correctly, because it requires the two of you to create this child. That does not mean that the people you date should be jealous or anything, because your children should come first. But you have to be very selective in who you choose. I know plenty of women who have children with certain men, and they say, oh, my baby mama is crazy. I know these women personally, and they're not crazy. What they want is to make sure that the type of woman you have around their children isn't going to do their child any harm. They need to be able to trust you and the woman that you select. So she would look at your child with her as if it were her own. And she would protect and love your child the same way she would. I know plenty of guys that are not trying to get to the point where they're manipulating the mother of their children's life. They just want to make sure that you don't have a man around their kids that's going to do some other stuff. They don't want you to have a man around their kids, a man that's out here trapping and selling dope, and they don't want you dealing with a man that's going to beat on you, because if he beats on you, he's going to beat on that other man's children. Certain people just want to make sure that the person you select respects you and respects their children with you, so that everything is secure even when they're not around.
Well, you know what? I actually brought this topic up sort of like for barbershop, talk this afternoon with a friend of mine and one of my brothers. And that same topic that you just, well, not same topic, same point that you just brought up about, physical abuse and all that. When I told them, the full story of what happened to me and how, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in saying this, Lucas Cole, they told me that, oh, I was wrong for needing to know who my ex was dating. And I'm like, how am I wrong in that? They're like, it's like you're trying to control him. And I'm like, I'm not trying to control. What he does is his business. I don't need to know his business unless it's potentially affecting the kids. But they said that he doesn't have to show me that same respect. I don't understand that. So
I don't agree. I definitely do not agree with them on that. Like that's, but a little further in the progression, I guess you could say. I've seen it from so many different angles. I definitely don't agree. Now, I'm not saying that, like, let's say I had a kid with a female, right?
mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that I want her all in my business. What I would give her, and that's another thing, here's another point I'll bring up after that. I need her to meet this woman. Not because I want your approval of the woman I'm dating. I need you to see that she's for real. That if I bring her, if you and me had a kid and we weren't together, I need you to see that she is the real deal, that she, not to gloat or to try to put anything in your face, but so that you know that our kid is safe with her. I need you to know that, she's a stand-up woman. She cooks, she cleans, she's a godly woman. All the things that will put your mind at ease about who's around your child, our child. Because if the roles are reversed, I want to know. Oh, so you're dating. I don't want to know, old boy, and what y'all do in the bed and, all that crazy.
Because it ain't the business. That's not the business at all.
Right. I don't want to know. Like, what I do want to know is who this dude is. What's his temper like? What's he do for a living? Is he violent with you? Does he slap you around? Because one, I don't want him slapping you around, especially in front of my kids. Whether you and I get along for real or just civil for the cause of our child, ain't nobody gonna be.
I'm slapping anybody around, no, because it's wrong either way. Well,
right.
Well,
God forbid, the dude you're with kills you. He could kill my son or my daughter. You know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of guys who, like the dude you were talking to earlier, I don't think they understand that concept. That if dude snaps and you don't know who he is, he could wipe out your kid.
Well, see, that was the point that I was trying to address with them, was because my friend, he's also a parent. He's not with his, ex any longer. And I asked him, I was like, okay, so what if this was you were in this, my scenario? He told me, well, I'm going to trust her judgment. And I was like, okay, but what if her judgment is wrong? And this is what kind of startled me about this. He told me, he's like, well, if her particular significant other, abused my kids or went after my kids, I'm not going after him. I'm going after her for allowing it to happen. I'm like, whoa. But what if she did not know? Why are you still punishing her? Because not only does she have to live with the fact that somebody abused her child, but then you're taking it out on her? That's not right.
We're both equally to blame. But like you said, what if you can't trust her judgment? By him blindly trusting, and I'll tell you why I think he said that. Because, if I was the father of your kid, Well, you chose me, didn't you? And I think I'm great. I think I'm perfect. I think I'm that dude. So I trust that you're going to find somebody who's that dude again, as if lightning strikes the same place twice.
Mhm.
I'm just going to trust that you find the new upgraded version of me somewhere, and everything's going to be okay. But in reality, it don't work like that. People don't take into account that depending on what kind of terms we broke up off, the way that things ended. I don't know what kind of mental state you're in. I don't know what kind of emotional state you're in. You might not have dealt with our ending well. Maybe you needed therapy. Maybe I needed therapy. Maybe we didn't get that. So now you find catharsis in the arms of somebody you probably shouldn't. And people don't take that into account, especially if they see their kid dressed and kid don't look emaciated and, kid don't look sick and blah, blah, blah. Kid looks healthy and happy, and they don't say, hey, mommy sits in her chair rocking back and forth saying crazy stuff. As long as the kids don't run them telling them crazy stuff about the other parent, I think in that situation a lot of parents don't think, oh, well, is she doing okay? Is he doing okay? Blah, blah, blah. Because if that person isn't okay, they're going to seek that therapy, that medicine that they need somewhere else. And all types of snakes out here posing as medicine. A whole lot of predators out here posing as therapists. And men and women alike hurt by the ending of certain relationships, and they pick up people. They settle for certain people, not waiting for that one genuine article. And a lot of bad things can happen when we do stuff like that.
Mhm.
So now I don't agree with the dudes earlier, just because it's not about me knowing your business, knowing her business. It's about me making sure that you don't have some crazy mad dog killer around my child. Because if I got to come to the house because my child said that this crazy mad dog killer almost killed them or put them in the hospital, only the hand of God is going to keep me from putting other people in the hospital. And that's about as real as it gets.
I sense a theme that is going around on this show. Outside of, this relationship talk that we've been doing this evening. Can you kind of sense the word that I'm leering out around? You want to take a guess?
No, Miss Cooper.
He's like, no.
Miss Cooper, what are those words?
It's two, actually. Because we're coming to the end of our segment, and I just wanted to point out two words that is like the theme for this show. And I think, Lucas Cool, you'll probably be able to agree or disagree on these. First one is trust. And trust is basically like the glue that holds everything together. Whether it's a new relationship, a current relationship, an old relationship, you gotta have trust. If you don't have trust, you don't have anything. I mean, it is the bond that holds everything together. You have to have trust. Plain and simple. And the other word that's floating around often here is maturity. A lot of this, I'm just going to say drama, that's floating around with social media, with relationships, the lack of trust is mainly maturity. People are immature. They can't handle a real life situation. They're so focused on how it looks to other people. They see somebody else with something they want, and so they try to take it for themselves because they're immature to go out and get it for themselves. They're immature when it comes to maintaining a relationship. So they go off, and that causes the trust issues with cheating, with the casual sexual encounters. I mean, if you really think about it, in these two instances play a key factor in a lot of what we've spoken about today.
Absolutely.
So
You really summed it up there, Miss Cooper. What can I say?
well, you could say that it'll get better if you mature. Like Lucas Cole, I'm going to tell you something. If I ever see you being immature when it comes to your relationships, you know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to call your woman. And I'm going to tell her how immature you've been.
Don't worry if I start to backslide and being immature. I'm pretty sure you won't be the only person making a phone call to my girl about what I'm doing out here. I think a lot of people would just say, "What? That's not you. Are you okay? Are you drunk? Are you high? You sick?" Right. No one don't drink. No one don't get high. They'll be looking for a reason, an explanation. So yeah, I'm good in my spot.
See what I did there?
I know you're being concerned, though, and letting everybody know you're going to snitch on me on the radio.
Well, see, I just had to do it. I just had to, you weren't expecting that. I had to do that.
Yeah, I really wasn't expecting that.
Let's see. Okay, Lucas, cool. I'll give you a chance before we wrap up our show. You can get me back. You got something for me?
No, I ain't going to put the business out there because when I do it, I'm just going to do it. And, I don't want to get on record for saying I was going to do it because then that's premeditated.
Oh, come on. You already insinuated that you were going to do it.
Oh, I didn't insinuate nothing. It's just if per chance something happens, I don't want to be implicated in such a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is Lucas Cool's insinuation that he's going to do something, but not do something so that he doesn't get blamed for it.
I plead the fifth.
See, that's why I like Lucas Cool. He makes doing a show fun.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, gosh, you believe the fifth. Okay. Well, you have been listening to my show. I would like to thank my special guest, Lucas Cool. Thanks for collaborating with me this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Always been a pleasure. And ladies, yes, he really is that cool. I mean, just have y'all seen him? I'm beefing him up a little bit because he does have his own show that's coming out soon. So as much love as y'all shown me, I need y'all to return the favor and do the same for him, okay?
Good looking. Appreciate the love, Ms. Cooper. Thank you very much. I want to thank the audience for listening and tuning in another time. It's always great to be here. And, yeah, stay tuned. Lucas Cool coming at you with another show. And if you like the real here, it's going to be just as real on my show, but, from a cool male perspective.
See, can't wait to, show what's up. All right, you've been listening to another segment of You Weren't Expecting That. I'm Miss Cooper, signing off at Lucas Cool. Y'all have a great night.
Say meet again, everybody.